Well, good Saturday morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this doesn't work without you guys. So let's get open for business here. And let's wake up the football gods. Wake up, guys. Wake up. There we go. Happy Saturday morning, guys, as we sit 92 days, 10 hours, 28 minutes, and 5 seconds away from kickoff for the Dallas Cowboys against the Los Angeles Rams. And we have some news. Interesting news. It was kind of funny last night that, actually, let me pull it up here. Let me actually pull this up because I had this last night. Let's listen to this real quick.
Back here, first things first, with Coach Mangini, we're talking Cowboys. They could be adding another All-Pro to their roster. Jamal Adams reportedly wants to be traded if the Jets don't give him a contract extension. His preference? How about his hometown Dallas Cowboys? Nick, what do you think? Would adding Jamal Adams make the Dallas Cowboys favorites to win the NFC?
Well, as they are presently constituted, I got them at 11-5 and competing for a bye. I don't think there is a truly great team in the conference right now. I think the two best teams in football, the Chiefs and the Ravens, are both in the AFC. And you look at the Cowboys, what is, in my mind, their single biggest position of weakness? It's the back end of the defense. They lost Byron Jones. It's the only spot on either side of the ball they don't have an all-pro caliber player, whether it's offensive line, wide receiver, running back, defensive line, linebackers. They've got all pros or guys who have that ability everywhere except for in the back end. So it would be the perfect fit for a team that I already believe could win the conference. They're not my pick to win the conference, but adding Jamal Adams might be enough to put them over the top. It would also be, Wilds, an ultimate all-in move. They already have one of the three highest paid at the following positions: wide receiver, running back, guard, defensive end, inside linebacker. Their quarterback appears to be next on the list. And if you trade a first-round pick and something else for Jamal Adams, it's so you could then immediately make him the highest paid safety in NFL history. So you would be constructing a roster that is absolutely as top-heavy as we've ever seen. No middle class of players, and then a bunch of minimum-ish salary guys. It would be a risky gambit, but if you're not worried about future you, if you're just worried about today you, absolutely, you would make this move, maybe becomes the favorites in the NFC, certainly become the favorites in the NFC East by a decent margin, and have the best chance you've had at a Super Bowl in a quarter century, Wilds.
Okay. Now, that's interesting that he's now saying that the Dallas Cowboys are one of the best teams in the NFC. That's actually amazing the way they've constantly trashed the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the big question again was a first and a third. And we know that's what the Jets have wanted, a first and a third. But, you know, we're sitting here going on 3/4 of a year that they've been basically trying to get that first and a third. And apparently, Jamal Adams is definitely making some waves. Jamal Adams, who was seen recently protesting in Dallas, his hometown, who wants to get a new deal. He has 2 years really left on his original deal with the fifth-year option. And definitely the lines have been drawn in the sand. The Jets said, you know, we want to get a long-term deal done with Jamal Adams. You know, we want to do that. We want to get a deal done. And we've been told, you know, even during the season after the deals fell through for trades, that they were going to be working out a long-term deal. Now, interestingly enough, now Jamal Adams is getting more proactive than reactive. Word is, of course, this is actually from last night. Oops, wrong one. Bam. Right here. Jamal Adams calls out the Jets. We're hearing that the Cleveland Browns are working on a multi-year mega deal for Myles Garrett. You know, again, he's not a safety, he's a defensive end, but the Browns are working on that. And the Browns also haven't given up on Giovanni and Clowney either. So the Browns are trying to make some moves to get better and things. And so Jamal Adams tweeted out this last night. Where am I? New York safety after Myles Garrett's potential mega deal report. I can't even get my first proposal that they said they would be sending over in January. So it's like, wait a minute. Wait. You mean it's been 5 months where you said we're going to work out a deal with him, a long-term deal? And you were supposed to send over a deal in January? I know we've had the coronavirus and the protests and all that, but, we do have email. You can email. And there's also the telephone where you can pick up the phone and talk. So the Jets have not talked to Jamal Adams about a long-term deal yet. And Jamal Adams is getting tired of waiting. Jamal Adams is basically, I basically want to get out of town. And if the Jets really wanted to give, even if you lowballed or gave a number that's like, laughable, you would send something over to have a starting point. I mean, you're not going to expect them to send over, we're going to give you $15 million a year for the next 4 years and, so on. That's not a starting point. You could say, hey, how about we got a 5-year deal, at $50 million with, $10 million a year or something like that. We'll give you a 25 as a signing bonus. That's where you at least send something over to let them know that, hey, this is the beginning of negotiations. But they haven't sent anything. Nothing. 6 months. 6 months Jamal Adams has been waiting. You may want a lot of things. You may look at that new car and say, I want that car for $10,000. Well, that car's a $40,000 car. You ain't getting $40,000. You're not getting it for $10,000. You're getting it for $40,000. But if there's something that happens, the economy goes down, or, we got bills we need to pay, that $40,000 car might go on sale. Might be the new ones are coming in, and I don't have space to put them. I need to make that move. You may not get it for the $10,000 that you wanted, but you might be able to get it for $30,000. And that's where I think they are right now with Jamal Adams. At some point, you have to look at it and say, we're not going to be able to sign him. We're not going to sign him for the money that he wants. The relationship is now poisoned, and we need to just move on so it's not a distraction. Yeah, we can go ahead and force him to play and everything else. We know we have the rules that are on our side that if you don't show up for training camp, you can get fined $40,000 a day, which is not forgivable. And if you miss a preseason game, it's a game check. We understand all of that, but do we want to have that as a distraction and have him with the bad attitude? And maybe the time is, let's get what we can get and move on. The Redskins wanted a first-round pick for Trent Williams. Trent Williams didn't go during that season. Instead, they settled for a third and a fifth. Now, I don't know what is reasonable at this point. Like I said, the relationship is truly poisoned now. But I don't think it's still a 1 1/3. If you're telling me you have not even given him any kind of a contract offer, it's going to get interesting over the course of the next couple of weeks to see where that goes. And the thing that sticks in my mind, I talked about this a little bit last night on the live stream. It's nothing personal. It's only business. But you have some guys that are in Dallas right now that really and truly want to be in Dallas. And that makes a difference. You play because, you love the sport. You play because you want to get paid. But there's always that little extra oomph. When you look at Gerald McCoy, who's got enough money, he doesn't need the money. He's looking at the spotlight and the joy of always being a Dallas Cowboy fan and now playing for that team. You know that guy is going to give all efforts because he wants to be there. He wants to show people that I am a Dallas Cowboy. Amari Cooper could have taken more money to go to the Washington Redskins. He took less to stay here in Dallas. That's a guy that's going to be putting all effort because this is where he wants to be. And it may be that a Jamel Adams, who is from Dallas, gets away from the Jets, and we know how the Jets are as far as contracts go. I can tell you from DeMario Davis' standpoint, as well as others. The Jets don't pay people. That for him getting to Dallas, that maybe he works with the team, or maybe a deal that's a little bit better than he would elsewhere because he wants to be in Dallas. He wants to be part of that. He wants to be the resurrection of the Dallas Cowboys. Who knows? But sit on tight, guys. It's going to get interesting. It's definitely going to get interesting. If the Jets really and truly want a contract or want to keep him, they need to at least have a communication with them. All right, I got some work I got to do, guys. I hope you all have a great Saturday. Be safe out there. Make sure you wear your mask. And I will see you guys soon.